Hello followers. Today we are going to see the topic exception. Actually, it's more important topic most of the people in the industry. If you are not handling proper exception, then it will give very critical issues in the productions and real-time applications. Okay, so always the exception handling play a very key role in industry. Okay, let's see in the detailed way the exception. What is exception? Exception is a runtime error that interrupts the normal execution of PLSQL program. Okay, if some program is running in between the execution block, okay, in the execution example, this is the basic syntax. So in the executable block within begin end, any exception happened, any abnormal behavior happened. If it's not handled using exception, it will terminate the complete program. Okay, that's why it will give lot of issues if it's not handled properly. Okay, so Oracle provided the exception using some default exception. Those exceptions are called predefined exception. Some exception Oracle not provided some exception. Those exception non-predefined exception or user-defined exception here. Okay, those are the exceptions. So some predefined exceptions like divided by zero. We can't divide some number using zero. Then it will throw divide by zero. So Oracle give the predefined exception. If you are fetching the data from the table, there is no row, then it's give the error message no rows found. Oracle gave the predefined exception. Too many rows. It's having more rows. You want to fetch one uh, value. So you declare the single variable, scalar variable, but it's fetching multiple values, then it will return there are too many rows. Duplicate values. Okay, if you declare the primary key, you want to try to insert the duplicates. That time it will give duplicate values. Invalid number. So you declare the data type as uh, varchar to number data type, but you are inserting string. That time you will get the exception invalid number. Okay, so depends on the scenario. The number is um, not correct, so that time it will give the invalid number. Okay, so why exception handle prevents normal termination, display meaningful error message, lock the errors, allows graceful recovery. Okay, basic syntax. This is a basic syntax. So declarative part begin then inside the execution block all the executable statement. When here exception occur, then this exception, when what is the exception we are going to handle, then what is the code we have to handle it in as part of exception. It's a basic syntax, then it will end. Okay, before end we will have the exception block. Okay, so first one we are going with zero divide. Okay, we are taking one input number and one variable, just we are dividing 100 by 0, then it will throw the message like zero divided. So in our code directly we can use this predefined exception. Any number divided by 0, then automatically come and handled here. No need to declare any exception on our side. Okay, Oracle gave the default, so we can use it. Okay, so then no data found. So some table you are fetching the data. Okay, but the employee ID 999 is not there in the table, then it will give what's the error? No data found. Okay, so here too many rows. What happened? You declared single employee name on variable, but in the tables with the same name, if you have multiple rows, so while inserting into this variable, it will throw this too many values, too many rows. This is the exception. Do val index. You declare the primary key and you want to insert ID 11, same value two times, then it will throw the error, do val index. there is when others. So if you don't know the exception handle, then finally you can use when others. Other than this handle, predefined exception or user defined exception, any all other exception, it will go to when others. This is the common exception handler for PLSQL program. So if you don't know the predefined exception or user defined exception, those exceptions will be handled using when others. So here it will give error SQL code. It's some Oracle gives some SQL code and error message for the any particular error. Those will be handled using SQL code, SQL error message using when other exception. Okay, we don't. It's 100 divided by 0. We can handle 0 divided error, but if we are not handling it using when others, it's handled. So okay, always first what we do, we will declare all the predefined exception, then user defined exception, then last we will use the when others exception. If you are declaring first, declaring all other exception is waste. Okay, so always make it habit of when others should be the last exception. Okay, user defined exception. Some exception the client want to raise it from our end, then we will use this user defined exception. The syntax is the name and exception. This is the way we can raise our user defined exception. So then whenever, so I'm raising the exception when the salary is less than 10,000, then I am raising using this raise keyword. We can raise the exception. Then it will reach it's terminate from here execution block. It will come to the exception block, and we will search the handler and whatever the operation we declared there. Then it will. Sorry. Okay. So whatever exception logic we declare, that one will be printed or handled here. Okay. Raise statement. Okay, raise exception. Okay, whenever we declare the user defined exception using the raise keyword, we can raise it. Okay, in the execution block, there is a using raise statement. Okay, this is or re-raising the existing exception. Our user defined exception or re-raising the existing exception also using the raise keyword, we can raise it. There is a concept PRAGMA exception in it. Okay. Oracle gave the error number, but they have not given the any error message, or they gave the error message, but it's not meaningful. But the client want the meaningful error message. Then what we can do? We can first declare one exception. Or like example, I created deadlock detected exception. For this exception, I am passing some error number. Okay, this error number given by Oracle. That error number I am passing, then I am raising deadlock detector. Then what happened? Whenever example some logic, some table get locked, that time if we use raise deadlock detector, then immediately it will go to this exception block and it will show the error message. That's what pragma exception init will. Okay, if we have error number but we don't have any exception name, then we can give our user defined exception using pragma exception init. Okay, it's come under declarative part. So two steps. First we have to declare the exception, then pragma exception init, those exception and what is the error number. Okay. So raise application error. Some exception business want some meaningful name, but the error number also we can give our own. It should be 20,000 to 20,999. Okay. In between this number, we can give our number and we can raise our business related exception. Okay. See, client is saying, so the salary, if it's going negative, then you should raise the error. The salary should not be negative. So then what you can do, you can mention the error number between 20,000 to 20,999 using raise exception error, then give the error number and you can pass the custom message. That's the way it will handle. Okay. This is using raise exception error. Okay. Nested block. So if you have inside some exception begin and block, there it will be having separate exception. Okay, so inner block having separate exception, or outer block having separate exception. If any exception not handled properly in the inner block, it will propagate to outer blocks. That's called exception propagation, we will call it. Okay, so these are the best practice to handle the exceptions. Okay, first handle the specific exception first. Keep when others at the end. Log SQL code and SQL error message. It will give the good understanding of the business. So always log the SQL code error message. Never silently the exception. Okay, it will give lot of problem if you not handle the proper exception. Okay, make sure you will be handling the exception correct way. Okay, use meaningful message. Use raise application error for the business validation. Business validation, use this one. So callers, you will get proper custom exception. Okay, so frequently used predefined exception. These are frequently used predefined exceptions. Okay, so maybe this exception may interview you will get questions like, can you say a few use predefined exception, then you can give this. Okay, this is the flow. First program starts, statement execute, exception occurred. Okay, then no or yes. If no, then it will end, it will normally end. If yes, then search matching exception. So except error exception occurred, it will search for the matching exception. Okay, if specific handler, so that exception handler in the exception block, then it's yes or no. If it's yes, then execute the handler. If it's no, then it will go to when others. Okay, then it will end the program. This is the flow diagram of exception handling. Okay, so from the execution block, once exception occurred, then it will check yes or no. No, then it will end. Yes, then it will find the matching exception handler. Then yes or no. Then if yes, then execute that handler. No means when others. Then if you not handle the exception this proper way, immediately the program will terminate. Okay. Next. Okay, so just go with practical. Okay, so let's go with practical. First one is this. See, now just I am giving one number divided by 100. So just see now. See, it will give the error message. So it came here. If we have not, if we are not handling this error, the program will terminate immediately. Example, see now what I am doing. I am not handling any error, okay, any exception. So, any exception. So example, right? A program will terminate. Okay. So it's this way it will terminate. If you want to avoid the termination, you should be having the proper exception. So if you don't have zero divide, but if you have when others, then it will handle using when others. Okay. So see, first use handle all the predefined. If it's not handled predefined, then you can go with when others. Okay, the final exception. This is zero divide. Next one is no data found. Okay, so example this. So now just a stable, I think it's there. Let me run the code. Okay. Employee not found. Why? Because in the demo table, we don't have employee ID with 999. That's why it's throwing the error employee not found. Okay. So if you see here, so it's having 101, 102, Scott and King. but we are searching with employee ID 999. So there is no data. So that's why it's coming to no data found. Okay. This is no data found. Similar way, too many rows. Okay. So if we have this one, now because this we declared a scalar variable, but employee demo table we have two records. See, so two records. Without filter class, if you are fetching, it will fetch both record. We can't handle it using scalar variable. That's why it's showing there are too many rows. Okay. So more than one row returned. Okay. Whenever you declare scalar variable, it's returning two rows. That's time you will get the too many rows. Okay. Do when we declare the primary key, then we are inserting duplicate record. Then it will go. It will throw that do value index. Let's see. See now table. Let me create it. See if I am creating the table. So I create a table. Now I am inserting it. See, duplicate primary key. So same ID, if we give two, then it will allow. Okay, it won't go to the exception. So now we should be having the values because I changed to two, right? So now see John. Okay, so submit it. So I am giving 3, 4. Okay, just run it. Okay, it's completed. See, so that national validation. Okay, do boolean dex. Okay, so if you are not using this one, see default this one use when others with SQL code and SQL error message. See this one we are not declaring user defined exception. Just we are going with when others. See what happened? There is a error number. Oracle gave minus 1476. Divisor is equal to 0. Since using this SQL code, error message, we can find out what is the Oracle given error code and error message. Okay. So using when others. It's not terminated. Using when others, it's handled. Okay. Always in your code, use this SQL code and SQL error message to identify what is the error thrown by Oracle. Okay. This is user defined exception. So just see. Now I created one exception variable. Then if less than 10,000, just I am raising this using the keyword exception, then it's come to here. Okay. So I gave 4,000, it's less than 10,000, immediately it will come to salary should be greater than 10,000. Okay. Those kind of business rules using as exception we can. Okay. So exception in it. So I just gave exception detected. So it's minus 60. I gave the error number. Then what happened? It will come handled in the the DBMS statement. And okay, so just so now this is the exception init. Okay, using exception in our user find name you can give it. Okay, so now this is the deadlock error. We are raising is with the deadlock error -60. Okay. If we show, I will show with that as well. Oh, user defined exception, PRAGMA exception. Okay, raise error. Okay. So using this raise application error, we can raise this keyword. Okay. So valid only this one. So this whenever you want to throw any exception to business or front end, then you can use raise application error. The error number should be to 20,000 to 20,999 and custom message. Okay. Minus. Okay. Just if you run this, salary cannot negative. So based on this, our exception raise. Okay. I think this is the one. Okay. So these are the interview questions. Okay. And exception is runtime error. What is exception? It's a runtime error that interrupts the normal execution of the PLSQL program. Okay. PLSQL exceptions are three types: predefined, non-predefined, and user-defined. Difference between race and race application error. Race is existing or user-defined exceptions. Okay. Race application generate the custom Oracle error with the user-defined message. Okay. This is the difference between race. Race, it's for existing or user-defined exception. Raise application error, generate custom Oracle error with the user-defined exception message. Okay. PRAGMA exception init. So PRAGMA exception init is associated to user-defined exception with the specific Oracle error number. The Oracle error number given by Oracle, but the message we are giving, the exception name we are giving. Okay. What is SQL code and SQL error message? It's SQL code written by Oracle error number. SQL error message is written by the corresponding error message. Okay. SQL code and SQL. What is exception and propagation? The exception process is unhandled. So inner block, if it's not handled, it's coming out of the inner blocks, then it's exception propagation. Okay. Why should when others should be used to last? Because any other predefined exception or exception handler we should be used before, or else it will go always to the when others. Okay. So all remaining except when others exception must be lost because it has all the remaining exception not handled by the earlier exception specifics. Okay. So this one, okay. This one also I want to give some. So raise application error. So interviews, they will specifically most ask about raise application error. Raise application error used to generate custom Oracle error message. Okay. It's mainly used to enforce business rules in PLSQL program, procedure, and function and trigger. Okay. Whenever you are returning programs like procedure, functions, triggers, then you use this raise application error. So this is the syntax. Okay. Raise application error number, comma, error message. Okay. The error number must be 20,000 to 20,999. The custom error message should be up to 2048 bytes. Okay. How it works? When the business rules violate, raise application error, immediately stop the execution and return to the custom error number. Okay, to the caller. Example, this is the salary validation. So if salary is less than 10,000, immediately it's raising the error message to the caller. Salary cannot be less than 10,000. Okay, if they are updating to -500 or something, it will immediately throw the error. Okay. Bank withdrawal. See, normally you will get the message, right? Minimum balance you have to maintain it. Okay. If you are withdrawing a balance less than your minimum balance, immediately you will get the message insufficient balance, account balance. This is the one real time raise application error. Okay. So age validation, if less than 18, if you are not allowed to for vote or some movies, that time you will be do the validation age less than age, raise the application error. Age must be 18 or above. Okay. So some procedure, so uh, you created. So inside the procedure, some logic, if you are handling using raise application error, when the user calls, immediately it will throw the error. Whatever the raise application error, it will show. Okay, just here the sample I created on procedure with taking salary. So then I am raising it with this minimum. Okay, this is the internal working flow. Okay, for raise application error, program start, business rule check. If condition is true, then yes, no, then raise application error. Okay, ORA number, continue execution, program stops. Okay. Okay, now what are the features between raise and raise exception error? Purpose raise user existing or user defined exception, raise application error, create a custom Oracle error message. Okay, this is the difference. Error number existing in exception. It's already existing, but this should be 20,000 to 20,999. So this is the flow. Okay, so custom messages. So raise, we can't give the custom message, but raise application error, we can give the uh, our custom message. Okay, business rule limited, but raise application is recommended. Always you go with raise application for business level exception. Okay, when to use? So these are the some scenarios: salary validation, age validation, credit limit, insufficient stock, duplicate business record, immediate order. So based on your business need, you can raise the exception and you can handle it. Okay, interview point of view. So you can mention it. It's used for generate custom Oracle error with the user defined error number and message for the enforcing business rules. Okay. This is the one use. Okay. This is for raise. PRAGMA exception in it. Okay. So this is the flow. First you should associate user defined exception with specific Oracle error number. Errors to handle meaningful exception names. Okay, if you want to handle with useful meaningful message, then you can go with pragma exception init. Okay, so this is a syntax: pragma exception init, the exception name and error number. Okay, so exception name user defined, Oracle error number is um, Oracle given number. It must be negative. Okay, how it work? So raise specific error, pragma in exception init maps that error number to the user defined exception always to be cast in the detected when class. Okay. So this is the deadlock exception we have created. Then we associate to the -60. Then it's detected. Raising using raise keyword. This is the handler. So then it will come here. So for duplicate key, so just one more example. So -1. So duplicate key. So whenever we are inserting the same number, we can use our so predefined exception also there. If you don't want to use predefined exception, you want to give some custom message for Oracle given error number, then you can go with the pragma exception in it. So that's the way we can see if I will run. So see this one, just already show with the here. If you see here, see here the employee ID. So it's giving some meaningful message, right? So that's the way we can use this Oracle number -1. It's for duplicate, not allowed for PK. So then using our exception in it, we handle and we gave the proper message. Okay, that's the way we use it for exception in it. Okay. So without pragma exception in it, only option when others we can handle using SQL error code and SQL error message. Okay. There is a way. Okay. So this is the flow. Okay. Then this is the entry question you may get. When to use pragma exception needed? When Oracle raised a error, Oracle gave the error. So it's not having some predefined exception name. Some errors, some unknown errors it's throwing, but it's not having some predefined exception name. Then you want to handle with some meaningful exception name, then you can go with. Okay, that's the way you answer. The user defined exception to specific Oracle error number. The Oracle number given by Oracle. For that, if you want to give the meaningful exception handler, then you can go for exception init, PRAGMA exception. Okay. So this is the end of the topic. I think I covered whatever required for exception. Okay. So that's it. So these are the predefined exception. I am so here. End of the session. Thank you for viewing the channel. Please subscribe it. Share your feedback. Share it with your friends. So I will be sharing the videos SQL, PL, SQL, and performance tuning in the further videos. Okay. Please subscribe it. It will motivate me create more videos and share my knowledge and experience. Thank you.